Hi guys, charity shop, gold or garbage. Nearly didn't buy anything at all today, and then the last shop, we were down at Clevedon. I think there's about 8 charity shops down there. In the last shop I spotted these 2 little radio controlled cars, 79p each. I've put fresh batteries in them, they're nice and clean, there's no corrosion in there, but they don't react to any of my transmitters. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, let's say 30 different transmitters dotted around. And yeah, they don't respond to any of them. So I'll put the camera on the tripod, we'll take them apart and just check we're getting power through to the receivers, and we'll have a look at the steering and that. But I think these are scrap box toys now, they've got motors in them anyway. The main issue with all these receivers that I've got is I have to keep taking the batteries out of them, because lots of them don't have on-off switches. So when you chuck them all in a bag together, quite often the ones with no on-off switches, those have got on-off switches, yeah, good example there, they just sit there transmitting, so it runs the batteries down, and when I'm trying to do radio controlled cars in a different room, I get all sorts of problems because there's a transmitter in a bag somewhere that's actually signalling. So it's a bit of a pain having to take the batteries out each time. So the ones with on-off switches, they're fine, but the ones without them are just a pain. We'll have a look at this one first. I assume it's supposed to be an Audi. I could be completely wrong. No manufacturer's name on this one. Right, so what have we got? Well, that's a standard RX2, well, it's RX2C chip. Usually they're RX2B, but I don't know if there's a significant difference. There's the power come in. Take the board off to see. Before we do that, let's just put some power directly to the motors. Sounds a little bit crackly, as if there's a broken gear in there. Yeah, motor's spinning, wheels aren't. So we've got some broken gears in there, in that gearbox. How about the steering? Okay, that looks okay. So steering works. So if nothing else, we've got a little module there we could use to steer something. Let's see if we can see where the power comes in. Right, meter. DC volts. Yeah, the voltage is getting to the board. So it's not as simple as a wire off. Right, okay. Do we want to have a look at the gearbox? Yeah, we might swap. Being as it sounds like there's a broken tooth in there. They all look okay. They look okay. They look okay. So what was the problem? Stay on there. That's what the problem is. Pinion gear's loose on the shaft. Motor's still spinning, but I've stopped the pinion gear spinning. There you go. Right. Oh well, the gearbox is okay. We just need to fix that pinion gear. Pop out. Yeah, that's what the problem is there. Is it's split. Yeah, there's a split up there between those two teeth. Probably can't see it, but that's why it's not gripping. Possibly could glue it, that might hold it together. It's probably got too much grease on it to make it stay. I have got some super glue handy. I'll try and clean that off first, and then I'll put the super glue on there and see if it'll hold it for a while. Got some surgical spirit on tissue. Just see if that might get the grease off. Not much I can do about the grease inside there though, is there? Right, just put a bit of super glue in there. Slide that on. I can actually see that split widening. We'll just leave that, see if it sets. I'll push all this to one side. Oh, I don't know, we could have a look at the steering, can't we? I was going to say I'll push it to one side and look at the other car, but we'll have a look at the steering. So that's just holding the aerial down out the way. Fairly straightforward. Oh, that one's just as loose, look at it. But that turns that. And that just, yeah, it's got a little, let's get that out. There. That's what's actually pushing the, oh, I can't remember what it's called. The push rod side to side. Nice and simple. And we've got a spring there to centre it. Right, I'll better put a bit of glue on that one too. Just sit that up on there a second. Oh no, didn't work. Alright. I don't think I can do this with the camera in the way. Oh no, success. Well, seeing that that receiver chip is an RX2C, I'm surprised that none of my transmitters spoke to it. Because I'm sure they talk to RX2C receivers. So, I wonder if that's any good. One in there. That one has to sit on top of it. Back there somewhere, yep. I must have that wrong. No, that's right. I don't honestly expect that to last very long. But it is working at the moment. Right, I'll put all the screws back in again. And we're no further forwards because we don't have a matching transmitter. But we do know that we've got a couple of good motors. One's down there. Need an extra hand, I think. How about if we balance that in there, put that on there. That's it. So, as I say, no further forwards. We don't know why it doesn't work. I can only assume my transmitters don't match it. So, let's tear this one down. Now this one looks to me like a Peugeot. They've labelled it a 20B. I'm sure somebody will be able to tell me what it is. This one says create. So I don't know if that's the manufacturer. But again, it doesn't talk to any of my transmitters. Right, well that one's an RX2B chip, which my transmitters normally talk to with no trouble. Power goes there. Where does the other one go? Directly soldered there. So, meter on there. Where are we? That looks a bit odd. Ah, I switched it off. No. Right, getting power straight out of the battery box. That should go to there. It does. That should go to there. It doesn't. It does if I hold it over. I wonder if that's all our problem is. That's odd. Somehow or other, when I switch it on, we're getting quite a drop. It's all dropped now. What's going on? Right, that's showing the battery that way round. Yeah, I've got the battery the right way round. 3.2 volts. Cool. Got quite a resistance just in that switch from the looks of it. Right, let's just try. No, still not responding. It's very odd. Very odd. Okay, let's put some power directly onto the motors, check the motors are okay. So the motor seems okay, drive motor. That's one of those clip together. Is it? Looks like it's one of those clip together ones. Which I don't like taking apart because quite often you can't get them back together again. So as it seems to work, I'll leave that. How about the steering? What they've got there. Very thin wires going down to the steering. I reckon that might be magnetic steering. Clips again. I hate clips. There we go. Yeah, that's what we've got. We've got a magnet and a coil. So that can lift out. Yeah. So that's what does the steering. Pass current through it one way and it will turn one way. Pass current through it the other way and it will go the other way. Yeah, there's magnets on the inside of there. It's a bit like having an electric motor. Same principle. Current passes through the coil and it repels the magnets. In the bottom there we can see, oh, can we lift that off now? Well, if I lift it off I might upset the directional steering. Oh no, there's a notch there to hold it in place. So that's the push rod. That's the centering spring. That goes into the push rod and that goes into the centering spring. just messed that up. Come on. Oh dear. The only problem is trying to do it in front of the camera. Now it's back in place. So that notch has got to line up with something. Probably that peg. Yeah. That sits in there. That's it. Well, that was an interesting steering. It's not the first time I've come across that type. I have seen it before. Get the cover back on. Right, so nothing more to see. Get the clips back on. Yep. Don't know if the camera will pick that up. Got M1, M2 there for the steering motor, and then M3, M4 for the drive motor, written on the circuit board. So say that's a RX2B chip, which I'm surprised that my transmitters are not talking to. They usually do. So that's a bit disappointing. Still, motors work. We'll put it back together. Bit of bonus footage. I just had a look at that gearbox, and those clips at the back came off quite easily, and it slides out in one unit. There's little contact plates up there that make contact with the motor, so that's all on its own. Nice little module. So if we push those clips apart, gently, does it? There we are. Oh, metal gear on the motor. That's a bit of quality. Don't normally get that. Yeah, that all looks fine. A bonus metal gear, pinion gear. Lovely. that just slides up in there. Excellent. But we're no further forwards because we can't actually get any of my transmitters to speak to it.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.